Not allowing its soil to be used against other interests is the main and fundamental policy of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. And the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is setting this policy to not allow any government or any group to use the Afghanistan's lands against any country, whether it's neighboring countries or European countries, any country. Towards the TTP, this from the beginning, it's been the policy of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan to be a mediator between the Pakistani government and TTP and to solve the problem through dialogue. We are not allowing any group to use the soil of Afghanistan against other countries' interests. But towards TTP, in the beginning, we are trying to mediate between the Pakistani government and TTP and encourage them to sit on one table and to solve their problem through dialogue. It's not ended yet. There is a type of postponement in this mediation, but still we are committed to mediate because it's a very major challenge for the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. If it's not solved, the soil somehow will be used against others' interests, and that will create problems. As you know, that a new government came recently in Afghanistan. There are some major problems which the new government is facing. The country has experienced more than 40 years wars. The second thing is economic situation, and thirdly, this international pressure is also there on the new government. But despite all these major problems, still the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan wants to have broader relations with all neighboring countries. For example, the problem which recently happened along the Durand line, which was the fencing project, two delegations, one from Afghan side and another from Pakistani side, they're assigned to solve the problem through dialogue. And this position, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is very keen to solve these problems. In each country, we have two types of issues. One which they are governmental, one which they are national. So the Durand problem or somehow issue between two countries, it is a type of national issue. And we need to refer to the nation, to the Afghans. We cannot decide about Durand line from a governmental aspect. This is not, for example, foreign ministers or the whole government's decision. It should be determined through a very comprehensive decision which will be made by the nation of Afghanistan. The Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan wants to have brotherly and very good relation with all members of the international community, including the neighboring countries. This is our request from the international community to recognize the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan as it has fulfilled all the requirements of an independent government. This is the natural right of Afghans to be recognized. We call on the international community to recognize us and let us to enter a new era. Right now, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan can act as a responsible member of the international community. So if once it's recognized, then the economic situation and other problems which the new government is facing, that will also continuously will be solved. And Afghanistan will become more stable, and the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan will become more responsible. In the current situation, the Afghans are facing a humanitarian crisis, especially with tough economic situations. And the roots of this current tough situation in Afghanistan are the sanctions which are set on the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan by some countries, and importantly by the United States. For example, freezing those about 8 or 9 billion assets of Afghanistan. These are the sanctions which are leading to next 2-3 months worse the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. We call on the international community to not let some sides to take the Afghans' rights from them, to block the channels of the humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan. We call again on international community to solve the problems which are existing, some misunderstandings through dialogue, and let us to become a responsible member of the international community. All these sanctions are harming Afghanistan. The United States, for example, and other countries which are somehow against the recognition of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. They are blocking the humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan. After the OIC conference, which was held here in Islamabad, some developments happened. First of all, Saudi Arabia announced about 1 billion rial humanitarian assistance package for Afghanistan. Secondly, it was a channel to connect Afghanistan with other world. And thirdly, some other countries, they also have promised some humanitarian assistance to Afghans and to handle the Afghans which they are currently facing tough situations. Although some assistance have already reached Afghanistan and distributed among Afghans, but still they're not enough, and we hope for further developments and hope that those countries which they promised to help Afghanistan, they keep their promises in the future. Saudi Arabia was very cooperative, and compared to other members of the conference, Saudi Arabia is trying hard to deliver all those promised assistance to the Afghans. For example, 6 aircrafts which were full of these assistance packages, humanitarian aids, they have already arrived to us. So other aids will also be distributed among Afghans and will be landed soon from the Saudi Arabia.